Oh, I got you here. So where are you at?
Hey, Monica.
Good evening, Erica.
Good
And
evening.
What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm tired, man.
I know you're
I got,
working.
I got a business, I got grandchildren. My daughter, she's back. I'm very thankful for that, but my daughter's a lot of work, y'all.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
that was your gift.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Hey, we need to do what's that Christmas thing they do with a gift swap? You need to do a gift swap, John.
Now, I got good daughters. They still crazy as hell too. They won't come home when they want to. When they come home, they need to.
Fine.
I bet each of you guys were as much trouble as your daughter's ready.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
As much, huh?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more if we're gonna talk straight.
They cost more. That's
Yeah.
all I have with girls, so I know.
We do. Welcome into the space, you all. It's just 5:01. We're gonna give people 4 minutes. We'll get started right at 5:05. I know some folks who have to drop off at 5:30. We've got some folks on vacation. ELSO is right in the middle of their summer camps. So we will give folks just about 4 more minutes, and then we'll dive into the material. And those we miss, I'm happy to connect with outside of the meeting space. Now, Mr. Washington, I think I can hear the news in the background.
I'm about to fix that problem for you here real quick. Now you see me, now you don't.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm trying to figure out when the price of oil gonna go down.
Whew.
No? Killing me over here softly.
It's not going down, John.
Well, I figured I'd get a raise out of Jeff on that. I wonder what they're doing with that asphalt these days, Jeff. What the cost of that done?
Through the roof.
Man, I can only
Really
imagine.
through the roof.
Only imagine.
But all construction pricing is just insane right now.
But you know, them big box deals, man, when I was doing those big box deals, and if that price went up on that oil, man, that meant that most people had to go back to committee for a whole nother year before the project was even going to go forward.
Yeah.
You know, if they didn't eat the loss, you know, I mean, because most of those big boxes got them big old parking lots. That's where all the money at.
Yeah. The issue is that construction costs have gone up over the last 6 years, 57% or something crazy. It's insane. It is insane.
Mr. Bell, I see you down there. How you doing, young man?
Doing well. How are you guys doing this almost evening, I guess?
Yeah, well, I was out on that boat for the last couple of days. You know, I keep telling y'all, when hell come, you better get on the river. You know, because that's the only safe place out of here, you know.
The river boils. You know, when your water gets too hot, it boils, John.
But that's all right. I got a boat that be moving pretty fast. It go pretty fast.
Well, we've got some more committee members that have just joined the space. We'll get started in just 1 minute. Well, everybody, as promised, we are going to get started with our joint HAAB and COAC meeting, our advisory bodies for the I-5 Rose Quarter project. Thanks for joining me in the middle of this beautiful sunny early evening. We have a number of I would say schedule challenges as many of you are so involved all throughout community in different groups and initiatives. And so we will dive in with those who are here. And again, as our custom, happy to connect one-on-one with those who are unable to join us. Let's go to the next slide, Ben. Thank you. If you're having difficulties, the number is there. We got a really great team who is happy to assist you. 479-8674. Next slide, please. Look at those beautiful smiling faces of our Community Oversight Advisory Committee. And the next slide, our Historic Albina Advisory Board. And the next slide. So in response to our meeting the last time we were together at the Albina Library, today we're going to spend a little bit of time diving into outreach. This is a really important place for you all as our partners in this work to see what the team has been doing and then to get your feedback and hopefully your assistance in how we reach community. We will have a time for public comment here shortly. We'll have a few project updates, and then we'll dive into that conversation, Rose and I, to give you all an update as we did not have time to do so in our last meeting together. Next slide. You all should be able to say these back to me. I don't have to tell you that we definitely want to hear from you. I trust that you're always going to be authentic and genuine. And I appreciate the point that we've gotten to, that we're listening for solutions and for understanding, and that we're hitting these issues head on. We have so many of them. I don't know that we've passed the discomfort stage, but I appreciate you all staying engaged in this process with us, some for upwards of 7, 8 years. And we won't solve everything, but we trust your input on how we will engage today in moving this process one step forward. Next slide, please. All right, at this time, I don't know that we've had anyone signed up, but I'm looking to my colleagues to help me identify if there are members of our broader community that have joined us online. You do have an opportunity today to give public comment to the HAAB and COAC in regards to the Rose Quarter project. And so am I turning it over to Natalie?
Yes. Hi. Hello. Yes, so now is the time. If you're a member of the public viewing the meeting on the live stream, you can call in and make a public comment using the phone number listed on the screen and entering the meeting ID and passcode. You'll be placed in a virtual waiting room until your turn to speak, and then we will invite you to unmute yourself and say your comment. You have up to 2 minutes to make your statements. If you'd like to provide more extensive comments, please see the options that are listed on the meeting agenda. We did not receive any written comments in advance of today's meeting, so it would just be if anyone were calling in over the phone at this time. And that number is 971-247-1195, meeting ID 839-9563-4219, and passcode 938577. And I'm still not seeing anyone who has called in to make a comment. So I will turn it back to you, Erica.
All right. Thanks, Natalie. Again, as Natalie mentioned, members of the public, there are multiple ways for you to engage with this body and the Rose Quarter team. So please visit i5rosequarter.org and avail yourself to all of those ways to contribute to the conversation. Next slide, please. All right, at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. David Kim to give just a few project updates.
I think I'll take it, Erica.
Oh, my apologies,
No
Monica.
worries. Yeah, and David's available for questions too.
Yeah.
But I just have a quick update today. I know we were just together recently, so I have a couple quick update things. So first is around the Metro MTIP. So we have started the process to amend the Metro Transportation Improvement Plan to align the scope and funding with the next phases of work that we've talked about at our previous meetings. We will be presenting to JPAC, so the Joint Policy Advisory Committee on Transportation. That's this Thursday, and then Metro Council on June 30th. The respective councils and committees will then vote in July. We haven't heard any major questions or concerns with the amendment in our individual briefings or the committee presentation that we've done so far, but we will keep you up to date on that. We do anticipate, like I said, the vote in July to move that forward. And that just aligns the scope and funding that are in the official transportation plans with all the work that we've been doing over the last 6 months, talking about scope that we can progress with our available funding. The next update is we did present at the City of Portland Public Works Committee meeting on June 9th. So this presentation included an overall project update. We haven't been in front of City Council in quite a while, so it included an overall project update, as well as information on the upcoming I-5 closures this summer and fall that we're continuing the conversation today. City councilors on that committee had a lot of thoughtful questions on the project and the closure. And David Kim, PBOT Director Williams, and I were able to talk about the work that we've been doing together, and then all the opportunities that are ahead for continued collaboration and planning, really to minimize the impacts during the closure and ensure safe travel during the closure. So that was a great presentation with a lot of really active engagement from our city councilors. And then we do have a project management group, our next project management group meeting this next Friday. So these are public meetings now. So a public meeting notice will go out early next week that'll have a link to that meeting. They are not recorded, but we do have meeting minutes and agendas and materials that get posted online, and those are live streamed during the meeting. And then there has been a lot of ongoing engagement, and I'll let Rose and team dive into that during this conversation here. So back to you, Erica, unless there's any questions. Happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Monica. Any questions in regards to the project updates before we move further?
Hey, Erica, I just had one announcement that
Yes.
would be of interest to the HAAB and COAC members, and that is that ODOT continues to go through transition, and it was recently announced that Chris Warner is now going to be the interim ODOT director effective July 1st, and many of you may know Chris. He was the assistant director at PBOT back in 2016. And then director from July 2018 through January 2023. So he does have some of the history with the project. I think he'll be a great advocate for the project. And again, he starts July 1st, and the hope would be for him to come to a future HAAB COAC meeting.
Thank you for that update, David. Really appreciate it. Before we move forward, just want to check, are there any questions in regards to any of the updates? All right, seeing no hands, we will move forward into the meat of our time together in regards to the upcoming closures and what the team has been creating a strategy around how we reach community. And so, Rose?
Yes, thank you, Erica. Appreciate that. Next slide, please. I think last time we met with you, we touched on kind of where we've been and where we're headed. And the purple line there is that kind of through line of the engagement that we've been doing in regard to the closure that's coming up this fall and the large closure that's happening in July here for a 14-hour overnight closure. The outreach that began as early as last July and that purple line that kind of goes up until about May was our technical coordination on the closure with project partners and elected officials, making sure people were able to be prepared from an operations standpoint for some of those project partners who needed to coordinate with us. And then as we headed into May, prepared a more public-facing awareness campaign begin with a press release on May 4th that kind of announced that large closure in the fall with a mention of that smaller one in July. As we head to July, of course, we're going to be sharing the news in the next week or two in the newspapers regarding the overnight closure on July 11th. That's a 14-hour weekend closure starting Saturday at 10 p.m., going through the next day up till noon, hopefully opening up sooner, where we'll be installing a sign structure. And then we will be still looking at that large closure in the fall. And as we do that, kind of keep sharing that news out, we are moving into a pretty robust phase here of doing the community outreach to nonprofit organizations and small businesses and faith communities, places where we need to reach a broad swath of the public, and we want to be doing that right up to the closure and through it. So we're here to speak a bit about that today. Next slide. I think we just wanted to re-highlight those closures. I think I had jumped the gun and covered those in the last slide there at the timeline, but just reiterating what those two closures are, noting that the detour for both are going to be traffic going to I-405 as it's coming south to the project area. And if people are traveling from the north during the fall closure, they can use 205 and avoid 5 altogether until they get around the project construction. Next slide.
Yeah, and I can speak a little bit to our coordination with the city and TriMet, kind of following up on some of the feedback that we received at the last meeting. So our technical and leadership team have been working really closely with the city staff and leadership to identify specific areas on city streets where we anticipate increased traffic volumes during the closure. Because as Rose noted, although our official detour is 405, I think as we all know, folks will take parallel routes, alternate routes bleeding into the city streets. So our main objective has been to address any potential safety concerns based on where we anticipate folks will be using those alternate routes. We've identified some key routes near schools as well as bike and pedestrian routes and really how those align with the areas where we anticipate increased traffic. So kind of what measures are we taking? What's the plan right now is we'll be adjusting signal timing at several intersections to help with traffic flow through the city streets. We'll also be installing speed feedback signs at key locations. So these have shown that they help in the past to help encourage drivers to slow down. We will be moving those around throughout the closure to areas where we see that traffic is where people are speeding through local city streets. We'll also be installing some additional traffic cameras at major intersections where we anticipate increased traffic. That, you know, a lot of intersections do have traffic monitoring cameras, but the city has helped us identify some key areas where there aren't cameras right now. And so those will be installed to help the traffic teams monitor traffic and adjust signal timing to help increase traffic flow during the closure. And then with TriMet, based on your feedback at the last meeting, we connected with TriMet and discussed opportunities for reduced fares during the closure. Unfortunately, based on how TriMet's system operates, they're unable to do reduced fares in just certain areas or on certain bus or light rail lines. It's kind of an all or nothing thing for how their payment system operates. They did identify that they do have a new trip planner tool that helps incorporate both CTRAN and TriMet. So for folks traveling on I-5 southbound coming from Vancouver that may take CTRAN into the Delta Park Park and Ride, they have a new trip tool that incorporates both, so can help encourage ridership. These are just the meetings that we've had and discussions that we've had since our last meeting. We are continuing coordination both with TriMet and the city on their technical operations side, as well as the communication side, to continue to work on ideas to improve safety and operations during the closure, as well as have them help us get the message out. There was, as I mentioned, we presented during the Public Works Committee meeting, and Director Williams with PBOT has been coordinating with a lot of the other bureaus on looking at other opportunities to help encourage folks to maybe engage with local businesses and stay in the city longer, and spread out the traffic impacts. So happy to hear in our conversation today if there's other ideas around that. I think both ODOT and the city are hoping to get creative on how we can encourage folks to as they're navigating through local city streets, maybe engage in business, and grab dinner, meet up with friends and family, stick around in the city, and help encourage that more to help us all out during this time. And if there's other ideas, that's what we're here to chat about today too. So I'll turn it back over to Rose.
Thanks, Monica. Next slide, please. So as we're kind of heading into this robust phase of outreach here, we want to make sure that there's tools available to the folks we're talking to help us amplify the message, to have resources to share the information about the closures with their community. We have right now a web resource page in the works that's going to be, in addition to telling folks that there is a bad closure and the traffic's going to be bad, and we want them to be thinking about preparing ahead. We want to give them options for preparing ahead and thinking about the travel navigation tools that they have to work with. We are working with folks like TriMet. We have a program here called Get There Oregon that is a really good user-friendly tool for helping people find carpool options, park and rides, different modes of transportation, kind of mapping that helps people figure out what their trip is on, whether that be on foot or on bike or vehicle. And so we're going to try to really pull that all together into one place and make a resource page for travelers during that time, and hopefully have that together in the next few weeks. We also have a toolkit that we've been pulling together for the people we've been doing outreach for. That's a resource to share the information. So it's a link that's evergreen. We tell folks to bookmark it. And inside there, you've got a newsletter, suggested text for newsletters, graphics, the closure maps with the detours. You've got suggested social media text and graphics, and fact sheets, and all kinds of useful stuff in there that we are offering to folks to help spread the word. And we've gotten a lot of great feedback on that, but also a lot of great will to help share that. So we are have a lot of partners out there helping us get the word out. We are planning a mailer coming up here. So if you kind of think of the area around the project area, almost like a lollipop, you've got the little corridor south of I-5, stretching down a bit toward south of the city, around the project area, and then up toward Vancouver a bit is our targeted area, to make sure that we're getting people who are in the immediate kind of area of this closure something in the mail to give them a heads up. And then, as I mentioned, as we've been talking about here, planning those community organization touch points. We have a fairly robust list. At this time, I'm going to ask my colleague to put a link to the list that we created for y'all. That is, apologies in advance, pretty robust list, but we want to give you like a beat to just kind of take a minute to peruse it when you manage to pop it open, if you have the ability. If you're on your phone, hopefully it'll still be fairly readable. We try to make it mobile friendly. And what we're hoping to do here is to give you a chance to scan it, see if there's anything that anyone or any organization that we are missing that you think needs a touch point or you would like to connect us to. We would like to hear from you on that. Can you go to the next slide, please? There are a few events you're going to see on there as well. These are the community events that we plan to be at this summer. Mr. Washington, I know we still need a touch point with you on those traffic impacts. You'll be hearing from us very soon to schedule something. Apologies for the delay on that. We're looking forward to being at these events. We are gonna, in a few slides here, also extend the opportunity to committee members to join us at these events and table, if you like, with us and talk to the community about your experience on the project or kind of in small shifts that we're going to make available. So you'll see this on the top of that list, and we'll have some questions about who might want to join us for that, and a little survey coming up here. That's a nice, easy, accessible survey on what we have our polling software here. Next slide. So this is kind of the ask here, signing up, if you like, for 1 or 2 hour shift at the project booth. You know, however you would like to engage with the public when you join us. I think just sharing experience with the project, you know, people having questions about what the project is. You all are as much experts as we are at this point. It would be great to have you stop by. So we have those. I think the events maybe are on the other the slides maybe got swapped around. But I think we have an opportunity here on the next slide, perhaps, to let folks indicate. Maybe it's sorry. It's going to be in a few slides to indicate if you'd like to join. We'll get you that opportunity shortly here. So just also as you look over this list, there is the kind of the categories, if you will, of the places that we intend to be. So you know, the community organizations category is fairly broad, and you'll see on that list that it's quite long, and we're trying to encompass every aspect of community. And we're also fortunate enough to have someone on the team who has strong connections to the faith community, and will be kind of doing outreach to make sure that those who are maybe not always online, needing a little more of a personal touch point through their church, might be able to get that information more easily through their church. So we're working to get information out to a broad swath of churches in the area. We want to make sure that we are being strategic about how we engage with small businesses and do that outreach. And so we've honed in on a lot of, or the ones we've identified are kind of culturally specific business associations, and we'll be doing outreach to them, providing them the information to get the word out to their communities, but also thinking about how we can provide them resources to, you know, get through this closure in a way that elevates that they're still open for business. Some of what Monica spoke about earlier is part of that, but also boots on the ground, bringing posters by people's shops that let the public know that they're still open, that kind of activity that is going to just take a little more elbow grease, but is going to, I think, be very valuable for those businesses who are going to be impacted on corridors that we know are going to have a high impact or high volume or higher volume from the traffic that's coming around the detour. And so, or around the closure. So that'll be corridors like MLK, Alberta, Mississippi, and the other neighborhoods that are going to see that high impact. And then, of course, neighborhood associations will be reaching out to them as well. That's all neighborhood associations, but a specific attention to those that are around the project area and near the closure. And we'll be seeing that higher traffic in their neighborhoods. We'll be making sure we're reaching out to unions who are, and that's kind of also extends to a broader workforce outreach that we're doing. We have, touch points with AWAMI, NAMAC, and other workforce organizations that we have been having touch points with already. So how we reach those folks, a variety of methods. When we can, of course, we want to be in person. We want to have those touch points where we can, when we can. When we can't, we are meeting with them virtually or sending personal emails, providing that toolkit, and where we are kind of needing to get the word out more broadly and quickly, we are working through larger email sends or finding associations or organizations that really have a broad reach of their own and can help us amplify that message to their supporters or their the people they serve. Next slide. Yeah, so I think we're here to hear feedback from you about the list. If you want to be at events, in the meantime, I think those polling slides that I mentioned are coming up here next for the opportunity to weigh in. In the meantime, we want to offer all of you to sign up for those traffic alerts if you haven't yet. And then we'll have that toolkit available. So if you do identify folks that you would like to share the information with on the closure, we'll be providing that in emails to this group after this meeting and regularly in our updates to you so that you have it as a regular link that you can access. It's going to always be the same link. As I mentioned, feel free to bookmark that when you get it. We'll always be adding resources to it. And there's plenty in there right now, and we'll keep building on it. Next slide. All right, here we are. That's the poll slides I mentioned. Here we go. All right, so after having I still want to give you maybe a minute or two at that outreach list if you haven't had yet a chance to scan it. I think the chat has the link in there to the list. And Natalie, can you confirm that last link there is the list with
Yes, and Erica has just reshared the list of community focused outreach.
Okay.
And then the menti.com link is for the participation in the poll.
Thank you. So yeah, just to clarify, Natalie's link to the Menti thing there, that is to add an organization or people that we ought to connect with who may not be listed there on that list in the link that Erica shared. So perhaps maybe we'll just give you a couple minutes to peruse and to respond to the poll. And then we'll move on.
Yeah, if I could just jump in. So I want to just clarify for you all. There are two links. The Menti link, if you scan on that, it will give you an opportunity to add suggestions or organizations. The I-5 Rose Quarter link is to the list that Rose is asking for you to just take a quick look. I do see some suggestions in the chat, one like from Mr. Modica about stocking the public safety vehicles with some of those information cards, etc. EMS, Park Patrol. So those are some really great suggestions. And this is why we wanted to make sure that we engaged with this group who has such deep ties in community. We realize that list is fairly long, so even if you have ideas without seeing the list, it would be great if you would scan the Menti code, or you can click the Menti link and you can begin giving your ideas and responses there. Yes, and thank you for that correction to Maranatha Church of God.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Birch.
So I see some schools, some community colleges, and I see self-enhancement, but I don't see constructing whole Portland Youth Builders or Joe McFerrin's program. Is that something to be added?
Yes, sir.
If so, where? Where do I add it?
So if you'll click that, there's a link that says menti.com.
Okay.
Yep, if you'll click that link, and then it might ask you for the code that's on the screen. This 4316-8079.
Hold on a second. Short responses, 200 characters submit. So I guess I don't need a enter picture. Two screens popped up when I clicked on it.
Feel free to pop it in the chat, Mr. Birch, as well. And we'll
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Indeed. We want to make it as easy as possible to get the information. And this doesn't have to be the only opportunity. We just wanted to make sure that we were coming back to you because we did not have time in our last meeting. We understand that this is going to be a significant closure and that you all have some insights that could help our team manage this communication strategy in a way that maybe we don't have the tentacles to reach into. So definitely feel free to continue to share those thoughts with myself in our one-on-ones, also via email. But we wanted to begin the conversation with you this evening. And as you all are continuing to respond in Menti and in the chat, this is an opportunity we could open for some conversation around this. If you all have other ideas that you just want to, we have some colleagues who are taking notes. If you have initial thoughts, this would be an opportunity for you to chime in. Love to hear other ideas to make sure that we are adequately communicating with community members in regards to these significant closures. Mr. Washington, I see your hand.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm just curious, how did we arrive at that date of the closure? What made that date significant? Or what made it that date work?
Yeah, I can chime in, and then if there's others from the contractor can chime in as well. So we first, just how it fits with the other work that the HSJV team has to do in prep for the closure. So there's a lot of work that they're doing out there right now with the barrier and the median and all the kind of prep work on I-5. So that was one factor getting us kind of towards the end of the summer. And then there's also, so being that it's up to 5 weeks, there's several events throughout the summer where ODOT and the city don't allow major closures on those various events. So in order to get a chunk of time that's up to 5 weeks long, we started right after Labor Day. That's the chunk of time when we could get up to 5 weeks between those kind of moratorium dates is what we call them, like the cutoff dates where things like Labor Day, 4th of July, major events in the city where we don't shut down the traffic. So that's kind of how we arrived. I don't know, Jeff, I saw you come off mute if there's something else you want to add there.
No, that's the answer. It's the most efficient way to do the construction with the least amount of impact to everything that's going on.
Did you know that every event that was in our district got through that except for the MLK Dream Run? It was the only event that was left, and the run is 1 week before the run, but everything else seemed to get through that pathway and be able to get through their events and have their way. So I was just curious.
I don't think it's a function of that is that, again, when you're evaluating construction and trying to minimize the impact of public and everything that we're doing, it wasn't with all the moratoriums that Monica had mentioned that we have to juggle. It's a small window of operation, and you get pressed up against, weather, and we have a lot of rainy seasons. There's only certain time you can pave and you can do the things you're doing. It's a lot to it, man. And so it's not a conscious decision to try to impact anything else. It's just trying to look at this thing and say, what is the best, most efficient way to be able to bring the work to bear in a way that's fiscally responsible to public taxpayer dollars. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think the question, so you mean to tell me a week either way would have made a big difference?
It potentially, yeah. John, truthfully, man, is that when you're looking at this, it can, and I'm not saying it did in this situation, I'm not saying that the evaluation was perfect, but in looking at that, we're doing our best to take everything under consideration. I'm in the community, and I look at all the community stuff too. So, and I make my team do that. And this is the date that we landed on. Now, if we have to do stuff to help mitigate that, I'm committed to everything that's going on, right? But it wasn't a function of not thinking about those things and not planning around everything that's going on. It was a function of us doing the best we can to accommodate everything that we have to accommodate.
I can respect that. And at the same time, I'm just curious, when you say we want to make contact with all these agencies and the people in the community and so forth, I mean, what are you preparing them for? I mean, I guess the question is, after you reach them with this communication, is there an expectation of performance from this situation? What, do you not think as we reach these people are still going to be affected by this? I mean, what are we trying to say to these people? Okay, we reached them, and then what? Say, okay, prepare yourself for one of the most major road closures in the history of Oregon. In your neighborhood coming pretty soon, and we just want you to be prepared for this. So what do you want them to do? Run in the house and close the door? Or, I mean, what is it that you're trying to accomplish with this outreach? Preparing them for this, but what does that mean? What's the response to that?
Yeah, I can take that initially and then look to Janelle and Rose to fill in some blanks. But the initial touch point is for awareness, but then also similar to what we're doing here is hear folks' feedback on where the impacts to their business or business association or whoever they are representing, hear those impacts and then understand, can we mitigate? How can we mitigate? We won't be able to mitigate everything, right? I think we understand that there are going to be major impacts, but having the opportunity to build awareness and then understand where folks are seeing their impacts, and then how we as ODOT or in partnership with the city or other organizations or programs that are set up, how we can mitigate as much as possible, understanding that we won't be able to mitigate everything. I don't know, Janelle, maybe you have.
Yeah, I think the question is a good one, John, and part of the strategy is to just over communicate because this will be such a significant disruption for folks commuting patterns. And so making sure folks have enough runway to plan ahead, whether they need to find alternate routes to get to where they need to get to, making sure they can plan ahead in terms of, folks who may be on transit, understanding that there'll be a time consideration. And then, working with all of you and others to make sure we get the word out as best as we can, and hoping to work with all of you to amplify the message, because the reality is, even though we will do a lot of outreach and a lot of advertising and other efforts, we know that some folks still will not hear it. So part of it is, how do we get out the word as much as we possibly can.
Thank you for that, Janelle. And thank you guys for entertaining my questions.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Washington. Leslie, I see your hand.
Hey, I just have to say what I said the last time. It's not so much the information sharing that people need that is the issue. It's the impact to those businesses that now are not going to have any business potentially for 5 weeks because traffic and all of the additional cars and all of that. So that's more my concern, is how are we talking to businesses and organizations about mitigation around revenue that's going to be potentially lost because of the closure. And again, I'm not saying we don't do it or I'm against it. I'm just concerned about a lot of small organizations and businesses that could have significant revenue impacts over the course of 5 weeks. I mean, that's right now, a lot of people are on the edge of going out of business, and this could be make or break for them. So I just want us to continue to think about mitigation strategies and not just information sharing.
Yeah, Leslie, thank you for that. And we don't have all the answers today, but I will say we have Director Williams with PBOT is taking lead, coordinating with Prosper Portland and other bureaus within the city and ODOT in the project, and trying to figure out how we mitigate that as much as possible. So more to come there, but it's definitely top of mind for us.
And again, this is a really great opportunity. Yes, thank you, Leslie, because I think I heard some of that in Mr. Washington's comments. This is where we'd like to lean into some of you all's expertise, right? In regards to small business and community, what could some of those strategies be? In my layman's terms, or maybe in my non-traffic and construction mind, I would think they would be leaning into their expertise there. And then we may need to be thinking about how can we work with, the other bureaus, Prosper and business community around what those potential strategies might be and the ideas, and then present them. So please, as you all have them, this team is open to thoughts and ideas, just as we were with the TriMet, and then trying to vet those things and work with community partners and agencies to do our best to minimize impact. Other thoughts or questions? Those are really great thoughts.
I'll just chime in. Several of the Public Works City councilors did express concern about the congestion and how that may impact businesses. And there was conversation about, well, this may be an opportunity to promote some of these businesses, for individuals to wait for the congestion to kind of relieve itself. And so maybe stop at a restaurant or a business and do some shopping before they go home, and working with the businesses to let everyone know they're open for business. So there was strong interest by the council and by Director Williams. And I think there's going to be more follow-up. And so that may be an opportunity for us to get the word out to say, hey, with all these cars on the road, have big signs up saying we're open for business, stop for dinner and then take your time going home instead of just being stuck in traffic. So there may be an opportunity there as we get closer to promote businesses. Swing by, shop here, spend some time in the community before you go. Because oftentimes commuters, they just go through the highway or go through towns and don't realize there's vibrant, wonderful businesses that they would never really stop for. But there may be an opportunity here. So I think there's something here with that where we can partner with the HAAB and COAC and the city and the Rose Quarter team to see where are the major thoroughfares where there's businesses that would be interested in having more patrons stop.
Thanks, David. Other thoughts? And we know we won't answer everything tonight, right? The communications team has been meeting regularly. Yeah, Janelle and his team in regards to what the strategy is and to make sure that there is the least amount of impact to community members. Mr. Washington, I see your hand.
Yeah, I'd like to respond to what was just said. Mr. Kim just said.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kim, I appreciate that, finding an upside and all that. But, one of the things that people tend to not understand on the MLK quarter, even though it's 99, over the last 10 years, we've moved more people and families on the MLK quarter than we ever have before. And I think the quality of life was what we fought for when they tried to move the 7th Street, close 7th Street to reroute the traffic onto the MLK. I think what people don't seem to get is the admissions. You're in the summer, you got lingering things, and now more than ever, you got kids actually functioning in families on the MLK quarter. And that pretty much so is what we're after and concerned about, because the quality of life is what we fight for over here. Okay, and so I think it's real important for you to recognize that it ain't just about the businesses, it's about the families that live here also. And so I just want to bring that to your attention, because that's what we fight for over here. We fight for our community.
Well, and I appreciate that. We know the long-term goal of the Rose Quarter project is to improve safety and some congestion relief, so there'll be less diversion on the city streets. There's going to be some short-term impacts, but I think in the longer term, hopefully that will improve the quality of life in the community with less diversion of traffic. But there's just some things that we can't avoid, and the approach we're taking right now is probably the best approach. 5 weeks versus 2 years of every weekend or doubling the time. And so we know there's challenges ahead, and that's part of why we're engaging the HAAB and COAC. You know your community well, and we don't know that. We don't know it as well. So as we learn about more of the impacts, what are things that we can do to help minimize? We can't eliminate, but help minimize. And outreach is a big one, letting people know there's going to be more cars on the street. So be more aware, have your kids be more aware, because there's cars that normally don't use these routes that are probably going to go through the streets pretty quickly. And so, and also just managing expectations for everyone to plan ahead so that they're not in a rush, they're not late to their event or their appointment, or for work. And so, I'd say at the end of the day, we value the input of this committee, and we are following up.
Thanks.
I'm about to raise my Irish, but I'm gonna let this one pass for a minute, and because it's a short meeting. But thank you for sharing that with me. But remember, man, our community is important to us, and each and every individual here, the quality of life is important, and I'm going to reiterate that. And I understand that difficulties come and they go, but we fight for what we believe in and what's important, and that's the kids and the families that exist in businesses that exist in our community, and we don't want to sacrifice none of them.
Thanks, Mr. Washington. Indeed, indeed. Leslie, see your hand.
Yeah, so a couple things that have come to mind. And I don't know what the budget is for this kind of stuff, but it'd be great if you get the governor or somebody to come down to MLK and walk into businesses and talk to people and do some spots of her talking to folks, talking to the residents. There's a lot, as John said, there's a lot of affordable housing on MLK now that wasn't there before because of the interstate URA. You get the mayors, some of the city council people. If you've got, you know, connections with the senators, anybody that's going to come and say, hey, businesses are open. Come on down, you know, here on MLK, where whatever. I think that'd be a great way to get the word out statewide that, hey, we're in support of this. And, you know, we want to support the businesses that are on MLK during this 5-week time. So I don't know if y'all can do that, but I think it would be, you know, a great first step to start talking to our elected officials to come out and show support and go on camera saying we're here supporting these businesses.
That's excellent, Leslie. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Erica, I can say the city councilors expressed some interest in doing that. And so a great flag to kind of elevate that to other elected officials. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Mr. Posey, I see your hand.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, listen, I mean, all this stuff is wonderful. Is there a budget that ODOT can spend and help to mitigate this this issue? Reason why I'm asking that, I'm not seeing any real incentives to help people, like free bus passes for, you know, folk who go back and forth all the time, or low cost bus passes or alternative. I didn't see no mention of the rideshare people, the Lyft and the, you know, what's the other one? The Lyft and the Ubers type folk. Are they engaged? I didn't hear none of that. But I'm looking for some monetary incentives to help ease this pain. Is there a budget item or a dollar amount that you all are willing to help use to mitigate the process? Y'all tell me.
Yeah, I can take that first and then turn it over to David too. I don't have the budget number exactly top of mind, but we do have a budget that we're working within, and we can look into that and share it out. It's both for outreach and engagement and understanding impacts and doing the work in the community ahead of time, as well as, you know, temporary mitigations during the closure. So we can follow up on that. I don't know, David, if you've got anything else to add there.
I really don't have much more to add. I mean, we have a communications and outreach budget, and we're trying to stretch that to having the greatest impact that we can in terms of awareness and outreach, so people can plan ahead and try to minimize that diversion.
Well, you know, much of this, what we're talking about, just means somebody absorbing the pain. And if you guys haven't budgeted anything into this thing to try, you know, talk about, you know, for example, mothers moving their kids back and forth through the corridor. School is pretty much out, but there are other recreation programs that could be subsidized, or I don't know. It just doesn't seem like you guys are just doing a lot of talking, but no real strong incentives to try to mitigate the pain that's going to occur during the process. And the easiest way, for example, if you all were to give some gas coupons to help lower the cost of a gallon of gas. I really don't know. It just don't seem like there's no there in what you're talking about, and we're going to absorb the pain, and everybody just want to go along with that. But if you incentivize it in a way that really let people know you're really concerned about this issue, then that would make a difference, I think. I don't know, I could be wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Posey. I wonder if there's opportunity again for these committees to be thinking. I mean, Rose Quarter project is a long project. We also have IBR, and these might be opportunities to partner public and private, thinking about, because we're going to have likely opportunities to have mitigation strategies for a number of years from this point. So sounds like this is a great opportunity for this group to begin thinking about what that might look like, as we continue to look for funding and adding those thoughts in around potential impacts, et cetera. Thank you for your comment, Mr. Posey. Are there other community COAC members or HAAB members with thoughts or suggestions? Again, this does not have to be the last opportunity. This is just our follow-up, beginning of the conversation with you as thoughts come to you. Again, I'm available to share those thoughts with the team. You can feel free to email, but wanted to give another opportunity while we're on the call together tonight. Why don't we, Ben, why don't we go to the next slide? I know that ideas will continue to come to you. Leslie, I see your hand.
Sorry, real quick.
No worries.
The city, the city has realigned communications. And so this would be a great kind of big project for our new communications team to do some video production, some social media, some webcasts or whatever, podcasts, whatever the hell you call them. I don't do them, but I know a lot of people do. And to take advantage of services that are already available through the city to get, because I know this is a joint project with PBOT. I work for the city, so I don't know that it has to cost a whole lot to ODOT or anybody else, because the city already has staff that can do this, at least as far as city council and the mayor going to businesses and doing some ads for, during this work. So just one more suggestion about resources that are already available that shouldn't cost the project much, if anything at all.
Thank you for that. Great comments. We'd love to continue to get your thoughts. Again, you might need to stew on it for a bit. And as you think about our conversation tonight, those brilliant strategic ideas will continue to come. I appreciate you all making sure that you share those and as we move forward. I'll take one more, Mr. Posey.
Yeah, I just want you all to do your best to sort of give us this information before we get to these meetings. I'm a guy like me having a hard time getting my QR code to. I don't even know what a QR code is half the time. So if you could get the information old school to us so we can actually see in what we're looking at prior to the meeting, I'd be much obliged, because I'm behind. I'm a little slow.
Indeed. Thank you for that reminder, Mr. Posey. Yes, as we are leaning into technology, there is an opportunity for us to take those lists. We could, have them in PDF form and sent out ahead of time for you all to peruse. We'll make sure that that happens so that you can dive deeper, maybe on, I won't say your spare time, because many of you are on 10 committees and boards and serving all over the place. But when you set aside some additional time to dive into Rose Quarter, we can have those lists available for you as you continue to help us strategize around where we need to be, who we need to talk to, and some of those creative ideas to help to mitigate damages and any impacts to businesses or family. As we move forward, we'd love for, as Rose mentioned, for you all to participate if you have capacity and you'd like to help share at some of these events that Rose mentioned earlier. So those who do have capacity and can at this moment, feel free to scan the QR code there on the screen. If you enter the code there, there's an opportunity for you to see some of the engagement opportunities that the Rose Quarter will be participating in, and we'd love to have you. You all have spent several years advocating for this project and in community, and we'd love to have you. There's several events coming up this summer. Good in the Hood, word is bond, walk in my shoes. There are broad events into Clackamas County, and others. And we'd love to have your voice there as well. And if you aren't able to identify this evening, we also can via email, and I'm happy to create touch points to get you signed up, if you will. Mr. Posey, I see your hand.
I've been kind of monitoring the airways and social media, and we spend a lot of time talking about the negative aspects of this close down. But I think I said in the last meeting, y'all got to do a better job of telling us about what the benefits of this thing. And I'm not seeing it at the level I think I ought to see it in terms of these jobs that are going to be created at the end of this thing, how we're going to mitigate the traffic, whatever y'all's talking points. It's not breaking through to me. I mean, it might be breaking through to everybody else, but it ain't breaking through to me. So I don't know how y'all are evaluating whether or not you are telling people what the full story is, but y'all got to do a better job.
Amen to that, Mr. Posey. I think there's great effort in us continuing to tell the story. Jeff, were you going to chime in?
No, I agree with Posey. We're working on it to be able to show the benefits of this in real time at a grassroots level. We have a lot of efforts, but it's a heavy lift, but we are working on it, Posey. We actually see that. We recognize that. And there is a lot of benefit that's going on that's just not coming forth clearly. And we have to do a better job of that, and we recognize that.
Mr. Birch, I see your hand.
Yes, and thinking of the benefits that we could be talking about, I'm wondering if there's a monthly workforce report that would come out with the contractor, the city, whoever else is involved, that we could see, because talking about the number of people, the diversity on the job, that information is that's where I live. And if I could talk to people about that, look what Moreland's doing. Look how many people are on the job, how many diversified folks there, how much money they're making. That would be a huge selling point for me, as it was when I was working. So if that information, disaggregated data, could show up on a regular basis, you could just tell us, show us what's going on. I'd rather see it than be told about it. That would, in and of itself, provide talking points for many folks.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Birch, on that. I know we've talked about that at previous meetings. Unfortunately, we were having some issues with the ODOT data side that we have resolved this month. So starting next month, we will be sending out the monthly report with all the workforce data. So that is coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great. I see a few folks who have responded to the Menti. Again, I'm happy to coordinate with Rose and the team to get those dates to you. Maybe a doodle poll, maybe just a sheet with those, and you could respond if you have capacity and would like to be a part of sharing the good message of Rose Quarter, and helping just for us to engage with community at these events. Rose, did you have anything further that you wanted to share in regards to the communication strategy?
Thanks, Erica. I think I just want to highlight that following up here, this is all really helpful input, and we've been taking rigorous notes. I think we want to follow up with knowing that this is not the ideal space for getting all the feedback we might be able to get from this group. I think we're going to follow up with a good email that lists out the events we'll be at. Let you respond if you're interested in joining through an email as well. The list of the organizations we shared, we'll provide that as an attachment rather than a link, or in addition to a link. And also the toolkit I mentioned that has a lot of the resources that are easy to grab and share as well. So yeah, we'll definitely be providing this in a different format soon, and appreciate your input and your help getting the word out.
Thanks, Rose. Next slide, Ben. I think we've kind of talked about this. There are some kind of old school methods as well as all of the links and QR codes and websites. We do have some physical postcards that even I've been able to carry and just in the doctor's office and at different events, handing to folks to make them aware of what potentially is coming up. And so, hoping that you all can participate in that. And if you have other ideas, we want to make sure that we leverage your partnership. As the slide says, you all have been with this project for many years, and we won't be able to accomplish quite what we need to or have the reach without you all participating. So we'll be looking to you if you have ideas about other ways, as Rose mentioned, sometimes, through your church, or are there barbershops in our communities or other community events that might be happening that we can leverage. Mr. Edwards, I see your hand.
I'm not that familiar with social media, but I understand there's a format that's being used or a program that's being used called Black Portland. I don't know if it's on Facebook or it's on Messenger or on Instagram, but
It's on both Facebook and Instagram.
and certainly that should be something that we're using to get information out. I understand it's widely used by our community. And so that definitely needs to be on our list as far as communicating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We definitely can leverage the creators of that group, Mr. Adrian Wright, and finding a way to partner to do that. Mr. Posey?
Since we're talking old school, back in the day, we used to go to the grocery stores and stand out in front of the grocery stores. In fact, that's not in the old school. We did that for the political process the NAACP used for voter registration. It's all this technical stuff is all well and good, but I'm thinking, why wouldn't we have a convergence of trying to use some of our young people to market what we're trying to do, using them, paying them stipends? I don't know what the legal ramifications are about that, but a lot of kids are out of school. Why don't we put together a campaign to enlist those young people to go from businesses to businesses or to various events to really share the nature of what we're trying to do on this thing? Just an idea, just a thought, but we killed 3 or 4 birds with one stone, employing some young people, getting the word out, and really personally putting a personal face on what we're trying to do.
Thanks for that suggestion, Mr. Posey. Appreciate it. Next slide. Again, we know the ideas will continue to come. We want to make sure that we are leveraging all of your insight and your connection to community to help the communications team and the project do our best to mitigate any impacts. And so next slide, I think we are taking a break for the summer, if I understand, and we will be again, I'll be communicating with you. So as I mentioned, this is not the last opportunity. I'm going to be reaching to all of you as I do to continue to get your input. As Rose mentioned, to share those. Much of the engagement will be happening over the summer, so it will continue to be a busy time, even though we won't be having formal HAAB and COAC meetings. We will be meeting in September or October. Once we secure the date, we want to put it on your calendars. We know that you all are busy, and even with July and August kind of recess, that your schedules will fill up quickly. And with that, I'm not sure that we have any additional items for you tonight. We wanted to be conscious of your time and to follow up to our last meeting. Monica, did you have any closing comments, or David?
I just want to say thank you, and please reach out to Erica with additional input. There's going to be a lot of work that we're working on over the next couple months to set ourselves up for as much success as possible. So thank you for your input tonight and ongoing engagement.
Indeed. Thank you. You all enjoy the summer. I will be reaching out to you. Congratulations, Mr. Washington. I saw your comment on Flossen. And as Rose mentioned, we have the communications team will be reaching out in order to get your input on your area of expertise. So you all enjoy the sun this evening. I look forward to engaging with you all individually over the summer, and we'll come back together collectively in the fall. All right. Have a great evening, you all.
See you all soon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.